Hi everyone, I hope you're all keeping well. I'm Robbie Berry and I hope you're enjoying the show so far. So tonight I want to look at how we treat the feathers. So you're after pulling the feathers from the bird, and the next step now is bug proofing. So how do we treat the feathers, or how do I treat the feathers? So the current method I'm using at the moment to treat the feathers and bug proof feathers. Now there's many different methods that you can use for bug proofing. Okay, you can freeze them, microwave them. There's so many methods out there, and I'm going to go through each step with you there now. But I have here. I'll just remove this just down by the side at the moment. I have here a bulk bag of pheasant tails that I have pulled off birds over the last season and ready for treating. These are in the freezer, and actually in one of my freezers down here. So now I'm getting to the stage now where I need to process these. I want to process them and get them into my, I need to clear a room in the freezer too. So perfect opportunity to make this video to demonstrate the current methods of how I treat the feathers. So my little workshop is a bit small, so I'm kind of caught for space, but this is where all the magic happens, and skinning, preserving, and doing a bit of taxidermy and stuff. So I have here a normal tray or a tub that I bought in any of the shops there, Mr. Price or wherever. A bit dusty inside, but don't worry about that. So what I have, what I'm going to do to start, so I'm going to leave these bag of pheasant tails just down by the side there for a minute. And what I have here is I have a bucket of water, hot water. This is hot water out of the tap. It is hot. You can't hold your hand into it for too long, and that's what I'm looking for. Okay, so I'm not going to add anything to the water yet. So what I want to do is, what I'll do is, while I have it here and you can see it, is we'll just pop this down. Just want to make sure. So pop this down by the side for a minute. I'll actually do this in the bucket here so you can actually see it. I have the ingredients I'm going to add to the bucket is a good laundry detergent. So what I have here is a powdered laundry detergent, as you can see. And I've dissolved it in water. Now you can use a liquid one as well, but any laundry detergent, I'm not naming names, but you can, and I've just dissolved that in water. So I'm going to just add that. There's about a good cup in that, or there's a good half a cup of laundry detergent powder in that, and I've dissolved it in hot water in that cup and added it to the mix. And I'm going to add probably a quarter of another cup hot water and dissolve it. Okay, perfect. To that bucket then I'm going to add a good squirt of dishwashing liquid. I'm going to give that a good stir. A bit more. And then I'm going to take my spoon we have there and some borax. Now I've got probably the last little bit of borax left there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add, you can see that there, good heaped dessert spoon into that. But I'm going to add another one into it, and a third one into it. So 3. of borax into that. And leave that there. Put that there. And we're going to give it a good stir. Now, if you're any little insect or bug or critter or anything, you would not want to be going into this. I wouldn't certainly want to be going into it, but yep. Now, just leave that aside for a minute. And we will take our tray and put that back up here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab my bucket and carefully pour it into the tray. The reason I'm using this tray is because it's big enough to put the pheasant tails into it. So pouring that in with a good mix up of it as well. So, and any water that has spilt, we'll just dry it up. Now I've got a kettle here with boiling water, and I'm just going to top that up. Perfect. Now I'm going to grab my pheasant tails. So I have a big bag of pheasant tails here, as you can see. Massive bag of pheasant tails, and I'm just going to grab them and start putting them into it. Hot. I'm just dropping some. So the whole lot, I'll take the whole lot. Very hot water. Every one of them. I'm going to push them down into it. As you can see what I'm doing there. Again, all down into it. Any striders, we can sort them out afterwards. You know, the ones we want, we don't want. But every feather I have there now has gone in, and that's perfect. So that is good. Now, just to make sure, I want them pheasant tails to sit in the sit down in it. So what I'm going to do is I have just basically I have two meshes here. I created my own mesh out of wire, and I'm just going to put them down, put them into it, open them up. I use these for the buckets sometimes, but we can open it up and you know, we can, it just holds the pheasant tails down in the water. Basically just like that. Normally I push these down into the bucket, so it just stops the feathers from coming up. And I've got some fishing weights here, sea fishing weights. Just throw them in on the mesh. And I'm just going to leave them basically like that. Going to leave all them feathers just like that in it. I'm going to leave them there for a good soak for 4 hours. I'll put the lid back on, and I'm going to leave them for 4 hours. So in 4 hours I'll come back, and it's warm now in here because of the heat and stuff, but of the hot water and all the chemical stuff. But I'm going to leave that for 4 hours now, and I'm going to come back in 4 hours, and then we'll take them out, we'll rinse them off, and we'll dry them, and I'll show you how to do that there. So in about 4 hours time, give them a good soak. When we get them a good soak in that chemical solution, and then when it's done, then we'll come back and in 4 hours time and we'll have a look at it. So I've emptied out all the water there now. Water gets quite dirty from the pheasant tails. It does leach a little bit of tannin out of the tails, but not much. Nothing that you wouldn't notice. Still holding a good colour. But the next step is to basically rinse them. And all I'm going to do is just, you can bring them in. You can rinse them in under the tap. If you want, bring them into your house and that. I just do it in the bucket up here, keep it out of the house. You know, the wife wouldn't be too impressed bringing them in and doing that down in the kitchen. So all I do is I just dip them in water, just like that. Actually, hold on there. I'll just move over. I just want to get the solution off them, so I'll just throw these over here and spread out the towels. When I get the solution off them, and then we'll begin drying them properly then. So just now what I'm going to do is just tap them dry, and I'll do that for every tail. And any tails I've done, then I'm going to just leave them there. Again, just dipping them in, and with a towel, just tapping them dry, and just leave them there because they'll dry. I'm going to dry them. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring them in, put them in a warm place beside the fire, that, and let them dry. And they'll dry naturally overnight. With the pheasant tails, I dry them naturally. I just let them dry naturally overnight. If I was doing other feathers, I would I'd generally take out the hairdryer which I have there and just give them a good drying. But with the pheasant tails, I'm just going to tap them down, just rinse them off, tap them down, and then I'll just bring them in and just let them dry. So basically that's all I'm doing, is just dipping them in. Careful not to kink them or break them because they're good and long. Just slapping and letting them on the towel like that. Just carefully, they'll come back into place once they've dried. The fibres will come back to normal once they're dried. So there'll be no problem with that. And I'll do this for all the feathers that are here. And then what I'll do is I'll line them up just in beside the fire, on the floor or in the corner. That way they'll be clean by then and there won't be any issues with them. And I'll let them dry naturally overnight, and I'll come back in the morning or tomorrow after work and they will be good to package. And I'll go through that. There's one last step I do before I package them, and I'll go through that. So I'm just going to continue to do this for the rest of the feathers, and then once I have them dried, I'll put them in and dry them, and we'll go through the next process then once they're completely dry. I'll go through the bagging process then. Now, so the final step, guys, so they've all dried, so I've left them overnight. I've come back this evening there now, obviously went to work and come back this evening and they've been dried. So I basically brought them in yesterday evening, left them under a radiator on a dry towel, and basically let them dry overnight naturally. And now the next step now is to basically just put them away. And all I do now is the tub that I store them in, the tub I wash them in even, basically I take it up. The final thing now is just to give them a spray of this, and that's all I do. So this is iTech. It's a bird spray. You'll get this in any good pet shop that sells birds. So any bird fancier would know that spray. And it doesn't have to be that spray, but it is a good spray. It's the one that my local pet shop sells. But any bird fancier, anyone keeps budgies, canaries, pigeons, will have a similar spray or feather treatment for their birds to keep mites and stuff off. And that's all this is, and that's all I use. So all I'm going to do now is just, I'm going to open the door because this stuff will cut the lungs out of you. So, you know, never spray this in a confined space. It'll absolutely kill you. So all I do now is I just put the feathers in. Remember, they're treated now, so they are. They're treated after being washed in that solution. And I give a quick spray, nothing too heavy, or, you know, I don't really focus it in one point on it. I'm just putting them in and I'm just giving them a spray. They are treated. And that's basically all I'm doing. And the reason I store my pheasants like this, my feathers like this, because they're so long. I can't get Ziploc bags for them. So all I do is I seal them in a tight box, and just every 2 months probably I'll give them a good spray with this stuff. And I have 3 turkey feathers there, just putting in, and again just giving the spray. And that's basically all I do. There's nothing more to it. After washing them in that solution with the borax, the laundry detergent, and dishwashing detergent, and sealing them. And sealing them. That is basically all I do. I have a few cedar balls I buy in any hardware, and I throw them in. And also this stuff here. You'll know these. You buy these as well in the same section as the cedar balls in any hardware. They're for wardrobes or for closets and stuff, for basically storing clothes. They're moth repellent again. Now I've soaked these in I've sprayed permethrin on these. And if you're a deer hunter, you'll know what permethrin is. Permethrin is an insect repellent, or an insecticide, and tick repellent. So, and that's basically all I do. Nothing more to it. And any feather I gather off any bird to bag up is normally done this way. So store it in a freezer, and then when I'm going to put it to use, so when I want to treat it and bag it up, I'll wash it in the same way I have, and then just give it a quick spray in this after it's dried. Normally I dry them naturally, but sometimes, you know, if there's smaller feathers and there's not much, I'll use my hairdryer. I use a hairdryer basically to dry them, but normally letting them dry naturally is 100%. And that's basically it, guys. There's nothing more to it. So look, I hope you enjoyed watching this. I hope it's helpful, and I hope it helps you in doing this. Like, it's really simple. There is no more complicated methods around it. So, give it a go. Like, it's very simple to process to do. So give it a go, and see how you get on. But thanks for watching, guys. I enjoyed showing you this. All the best. on bug proofing. So basically, when I get the birds, I freeze them, and you can freeze them. I normally freeze them for minimum 4 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, but there could be anything up to, in my freezer, there could be anything up to about a year in the freezer. Now just bear in mind, freezing kills a lot of insects and mites and stuff, but it won't kill them all. And what happens is, freezing whole birds, some mites can get cover in the freezer under feathers and stuff, and the freezer, then the other side of it is the freezer actually can make some mites on some insects and bugs go dormant. So there's that side of it as well. So even though freezing kills a lot of them, it won't kill them all. So there's still, it's good practice to take them added precautions after use. So I would always throw the birds into the freezer, or the feathers. So if I even plucked feathers off a bird, I would put them in the freezer, if it's a fresh bird. Normally my birds that I'd be plucking would be in the freezer for minimum 3 weeks, but like I said, it could be up to a year. Then I'll prepare that solution. So the solution is, it's dishwasher detergent. You can be a powder, it can be a liquid. Just washing up liquid, basically, dishwashing soap for washing the dishes, and a good amount of borax, as have you here, and that's all dissolved in fairly hot water, hot enough that you can only put your hands into it for a couple of seconds, probably about 5 seconds. So it's not boiling, but it's hot that it's uncomfortable to put your hands in for more than 5 seconds or that, and let that dissolve up, and then add the feathers. You can leave them for up to 2 hours, an hour and a half, 2 hours. I normally do 3 hours, probably 4 or 5 if I'm busy or off with the family or doing stuff. So, like you've seen there, so that was about 3.5 hours, I think it was. And then I'll take them out. I'll do that drying process, and then when they're dry, give them that final spray before I pack them away with this stuff. And like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be this brand of stuff. But any pet shop, anywhere that has birds, any pet shop that does birds, will have sprays. And like I said, it doesn't have to necessarily be this stuff, but they're all in around the same stuff. They all treat feathers for birds and stuff, and you get them in any good pet shop. And I normally will spray all my feathers with them before packing them away. Then they're safe. The other thing I do use is these. So cedar balls, and again I have these. These are soaked in a permethrin. So permethrin is it's another bug repellent, tick repellent kind of stuff. You get it in any good co-op, farming co-op, and it's high grade intensity. So it's for sheep and cows and stuff. Again, dilute it down. I leave these soaking in it. Leave them soaking in it, could be up to 2 or 3 days in a jar, and then take them out, let them dry naturally, and I'll put them in then with the feathers and stuff. And other things I have then is just these moth sheets for your wardrobe. Again, sprayed with this stuff, which will last us a good while on them, or again DEET, or permethrin, which is a good insect repellent. And again, I do leave them in on top of the feathers and stuff. So there are just the little tips and tricks for storing my feathers for the stuff I can get. Now you can get more hardcore stuff like the proper mothballs and stuff like that. They're very hard got over here now because proper mothballs and stuff have been taken off the market due to its carcinogenic effects and stuff like that, because they are carcinogen. But if you can get your hands on them there, that's the ultimate stuff to use. But that is basically my methods for bug proofing and treating my feathers. So look, if you have any questions, any further questions after this video, don't hesitate to get in contact with me. And I'm on Facebook, Robbie Berry. I'm on YouTube, so Fly Time with Robbie Berry. So don't hesitate to get in contact with me. I'll be available to answer any questions as best I can. So that's it, guys. So look, I'd like to thank you all for watching and taking the opportunity to watch the video and stuff. It's been delightful. Thanks.